Hello everyone, Indie Brick Productions here with a comparison video of the LEGO Star Wars sets 75081 and 4477 on the right side. And these sets are both called the T-16 Skyhopper. This guy right here was released back in 2003, and this guy right here is released back in 2015. And the 2015 one right here had 247 pieces, and this guy had 98 pieces. And this one came with one minifigure, and this one came with two minifigures, including this Womp Rat. And we also have $25 for this one back in the day, and $15 back in the day. So these had a $10 price increase. And then we also have new. This one is around $33, and used it'll be around $24. And then new, this one will cost you around $35, and $20 used. And I got mine for like $30. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the minifigures. Taking a look at our two minifigures of the T-16 Skyhopper pilot here. We have the old one on the right and the new one on the left here. The older one has a very bright red detail for his little overcoat, and then the newer one also has that same red detail, just in a little bit of a darker kind of maroon red almost. Then you can see that the guy on the newer one has a lot more like detailing on his chest, as well as this guy also has some little pockets, so there's differentiating details between the two. And then on the back here, there's no printing, which is very typical for 2003. And then on this guy, there's some nice back printing. And their weapons, this guy does have some minor binoculars, which is really nice, and he also has that retro style blaster. This guy has like the little mini blaster. And then their face prints, this one just blows the 2003 one out of the water. It's basically just a visor with like a red helmet on there. And then this one, you can just see the difference of the helmet detail there. None to all detail. And then the back of the faces, this guy has an extra one, and that guy doesn't really have anything. And then that shade just looks kind of really weird looking. But overall, I'd say that they're pretty interesting minifigures. This one could be confused if he didn't have everything else on him, like all of his weapons and accessories. I would honestly, personally confuse him for like a city pilot minifigure. So I'm going to have to give a slight nod to the 75081 for the minifigure category here, because you also do get a Tusken Raider as well as a nice little Womp Rat inclusion. So I'm going to have to give it to the new guys. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the builds of the set. Now let's take a little comparative look at our two builds here. So we have both of them right here. You can see that this one is a little bit smaller than this one right here, that being that it's older. You can see the cannons right here. This one's a little bit more complex with this gear piece, and there's just a lot more use of interesting pieces. And this one just has like a lance piece with like a cylinder piece on it, which is kind of really lacking. And then you can also see in here, there's like these two little nubs on here, and there's not really anything, but the bottoms of them are pretty much the same if you just want to take a little look at them right there. And something I forgot to say in my review of this guy right here is there's actually a little pink like engine piece right there, and when on this one there's a red one. So that's a little bit of an interesting design choice on this one, because there's so many red on here, so it doesn't really look too good with the red just like right here. It just looks a little bit awkward. And another thing to note is, if we take a close look at these wings here, you can see that the old one is in the old gray and the new one's in the new gray. So they had their time period changes, and you can definitely just tell that this one's a little bit older. Now taking a look at the major like body of the set, there are a few different play features to each of them. So this guy's little canopy can open up here, and there is a crate that can fit inside of there, so that's really nice to hold all your guys' stuff. But in this one, this whole fin lifts up, which is really neat, and you can actually put all your stuff in there for your T-16 Skyhopper pilot, so that's really cool. And if you just want to plop that back on, and then you can see the little tile in there for the controls, and then the printed sticker in there for the controls. Then there's a lot more like sticker detailing in this one, because stickers didn't exist back on this one. You can see the phoenixes, as well as like a sticker detail up on the fin up there with the red stripe, as well as some stickers to kind of get this guy right here, this little cone shooter. But this one, on the other hand, just has some printed details of a little phoenix, as well as this like little stripe, which is indicated right here. Same on the other side. Really, really neat. And then this whole top fin area is like this huge piece. This is also the same piece right here. But you could just see the amount of detail on this piece, which is really, really neat in my opinion. And it just looks a little cool, but it is a little bit bland on this area right here. And there's not as much detail compared to that one. And yeah, another bad thing about this set right here is there's no like little canopy right here, or there's like no windows covering this up when there are on that one. So that's another little docket of that one. So also taking a look at the wings here, you can see that this one has flick fire missiles on the bottom of it. They just been shot out and lost because of my review, because those things get lost very, very easily. And then this just has like some little fake cannons on the top of it. So for playability wise, I'm actually gonna probably have to give it to a slight nod to the 75081 2015 one, just because there's a lot more playability with like the crate and this, and just the overall idea that you can like shoot. And then this one really just has this, which, don't get me wrong, is really neat. It's just a little bit lacking compared to this guy's right here. But for what, like, the sturdiness of the builds, I'm definitely going to have to say I'm going to have to give it to this guy right here, because this one is just leaps and bounds more sturdy. I mean, if you were to drop this guy, everything would probably break off of it. The wings are connected very loosely. I mean, there's just a plate right there, which could very easily snap if pressure is applied to these wings. And, I mean, this wing, I, like, knock it off all the time. It falls off super easily, and it's just not, and then these hinge pieces are also very, like, rigid, so that just makes it a little bit more difficult. And I bet as time goes by, those are going to be even more rigid, so it's going to make it an even harder set to get into. So let's take a look at my final thoughts and what I think of the values of the set. My final thoughts are that the 75081 T-16 Skyhopper is going to have the better value here. You're going to be getting a bigger ship for $10 more, which is pretty reasonable. If you want to get this set new, though, it'll be $2 less, actually, because this one is worth a little bit more new. And if you really just want to get, like, this one, it's way better because you also get a Tusken Raider as well as a little Womp Rat and more playability. But here you only get this one minifigure, and it's not, like, that intriguing of a set. I'd say buy this one if you really want a T-16 Skyhopper. But the only reason I'd say to buy this one is if you have an attachment to LEGO Star Wars for some reason, and, like, you had this set as a kid and you want it again. But other than that, it's not that, like, great of a set. It's still nice to have, but it just lacks in the detail that the newer one has. So that's really going to do it for me today, guys. Let me know what you think about these two sets in the comment section down below. Once again, I want to thank you for all the subscribers we've been getting lately. It's just insane. So with that all done, if you would please go like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. Once again, we've just been doing really great on the channel. And we're definitely going to be finishing out the year pretty strong, heading into 2021. So that's pretty much it. Andy Bear Productions is out, and may the brick be with you.